Hello there, darlings. Welcome to the Clockwork Cabaret. It is not my intention to be complimentary, but I confess that I covet the old biddies' skulls. And now, on with the show.
And with the sound of the cuckoo, you know that it is time for the Clockwork Cabaret. Hooray! I am Emmett Davenport.
And I am Lady Attercop. And it's the spooky season!
It is the spooky season. And we're so excited about it.
I mean, we can't go anywhere.
I mean, we live in a modern horror story right now, but still.
And we can't do anything.
We can't trick or treat. It's very depressing. But we can read spooky books.
We can read all the spooky things and watch all the spooky shows. And just bury ourselves in a pile of leaves.
Also, I am counting the days for Halloween-tastic shopping at Target.
Oh my god. All right, this is not a planned response, listeners.
Yeah, also this is not
talk about the things at Target.
Can we? Because I'm very excited.
I don't know, but
the John Darien for Threshold whole old-timey styled Halloween explosion extravaganza that is going on right now that releases on the 10th.
I am going to put myself in bankruptcy buying fucking pillows from Target.
Oh my god, the beaded eye pillow.
The
cat
6-foot skeleton friend pillow.
Yes. There's also a bunch of plates that I want to get for the cafe. No, one of our Twitter friends posted a link to it, and I made the mistake of looking.
I know.
And then I was like,
you're talking about verite.
Yes, and then I was like, oh, I would like this, and I would like that, and I have an excuse because I need serving plates for the cafe, so I need that, and I need that. That's where I get all of my.
And I need new pillows. Obviously, I have to buy the cat-shaped Gerblin pillow, and I have to buy the 6-foot skeleton friend pillow, and I've got to get that eye. It matches a painting in my living room as we speak.
Oh yeah, no, I was looking at all of it, going, I need all of it.
Oh.
I felt very.
October, also known as the year where everyone checks their bank account sporadically, going, "Can I buy the giant skeleton pillow?"
Halloween is the only time I ever shop at Target.
Halloween is my Target. Yeah, no.
Yes, no. It's
accurate. Halloween is my Target time.
That is the only time I ever go to that big box store ever.
I will. All right, as long as we're on the subject of spoopy.
Yes. Spoopy.
Witchy.
Yeah.
Items.
Yeah.
For our listeners out there who are in the U.S. size 10 to 20 range and would like some spoopy black dresses, I just bought like 5 off of Torrid.
Oh.
And they're all on sale because they're all technically summer dresses. But what that means for me personally is long, witchy, black. Yeah, I just bought like 5.
Oh,
I bought one and it came and it was so good that I just immediately went to the sales section and bought like 4 others.
Oh, nice.
And Ducky bought himself a dress, and we're just like gonna be all up in like weird crepe.
Oh, nice.
Long, flowy dresses for the
foreseeable future.
So we're basically turning into the aunties from Sabrina, also from Practical Magic. We're now that couple.
That's fine.
Instead of sisters, if they were married, that's us.
I've fully embraced that. I fully embraced that look. That's fine. That's what I do.
Be the weird aunties you want to see in the world.
Yes. I feel like that should be our unofficial tag.
That's our new logo. That's our new I don't know, logo.
Yes. Yeah, no, it's the spooky Halloween times, and I generally hate horror, because, well, it
Oh, I
depends.
don't.
I don't like the torture porn,
Oh, no, no, no.
Nightmare on Elm Street, Eli Roth, you know, torture porn. I don't like that stuff. I don't like I don't like it being gratuitously gory and just visceral nastiness, unless there's a purpose. To
Yeah,
which,
well, and here we deviate a bit because I do appreciate a good slasher flick. I do appreciate.
yeah,
I
I
don't
don't
like
like.
torture porn. Once again, I'm with you there. But yeah, no, but I enjoy a good gory,
Yeah, I don't like that.
visceral horror movie.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it unless it's Lovecraft Country,
Well, yeah, I haven't seen this.
and then I'm right there. I am right there. I mean, because
Is it
really,
gory? I thought it was more like atmospheric.
oh no, there's some gore. There's a lot of blood. There's a lot of blood and gore in it. There's a lot of blood and gore in it, but it serves its purpose. And the worst horror in it is racism. So
Just like the real world.
yes, yeah, no. It's been very enjoyable. There is definitely some scenes where I have gone, oh god. That was nope.
Mm.
Gross. Like, my imagination is very vivid, and there's often one of the reasons why I don't like that stuff is because it stays with me
Right.
and into the night times, and then I have bad dreams.
All right. No, fair enough.
So that's one of the reasons why. Also, it just generally tends to, it doesn't make, I just don't like gore for the sake of it.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's also part of it.
I'm probably approaching it from a different perspective because I'm all like, look at the artistry.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I do love some good monsters. Don't get me wrong. I love the special effects.
Those dripping tendrils.
Like, I will say that I watched Nightbreed.
I love Nightbreed.
It's not a great movie.
No.
It's not a great movie. The book is okay, but the short story.
I will argue with you that it is a great movie.
Well, I love the special effects. Because of the special effects, it is a great movie. I like all the monsters in it. I also really rooted for all the monsters, and
well, I mean, but
I hated all the humans.
For the folks that don't know, Nightbreed is a movie from the 80s.
Yes.
It is a Clive Barker movie
with David Cronenberg as the villain.
So good. And it is not big, and if you know Clive Barker, you know Clive Barker. It is not shy for being an allegory about being gay in the 80s. So it is very queer coded, not shy about it. It's wonderful. It did not have the largest budget.
No, so it's
right.
It's
so
a little
like,
cheesy.
It's one of those movies where you can see the seams.
Yeah.
But as far as like earnestness and creativity and interesting monster concepts and designs, it's really good.
Yeah. No, for the artistry, I am right there. Yeah, but I'm not big on, as I've said, not big on gore for the sake of gore. I have read Clive Barker, don't get me wrong. I have read a lot of Clive Barker, and those are some of the books where I had to like set them down and then walk away for a couple weeks and before I then picked it back up to finish it.
I will say I am a bigger fan of Clive Barker's movies than of his books.
Yeah, that's fair.
His books.
For me, I can separate.
Yeah.
I can separate the written word from
than the visual.
Yeah, the visuals I have I have a problem separating that gets into my cortex and then I have bad dreams. Whereas a book, I feel, because that is I can control my imagination a little bit better.
Okay, that makes sense. Like, and I do generally, I enjoy both movies and books. But I kind of think I like books a little bit better. But like you said, you're a little bit more in control of how you experience the narrative.
Yeah.
Speaking of books.
Yeah.
Segue.
Yeah.
Professional.
Until right then.
Look at me. I have read 2, not 1, but 2. And All right. So full disclosure time, listeners. The swear ban is off. Also, the real life ban is off.
Yeah.
As Emmett and I were discussing in length before we started recording, I have ADD in just a real classic sense. It makes me challenging to deal with.
That's a nice way of putting it.
I will say, well, you know.
I know, I'm just teasing.
No. I have to live with myself. Like, you only have to deal with me on the periphery. You don't have to live in this reality, all right? Like, it's
true.
not fun up in here. Like, where the hell are my goddamn keys? Yeah. That's the subtitle to my every autobiography about me.
Yes. The Nicole Attercop story. Where the hell are my keys?
Story. Where the fuck are my keys?
Which I have actually heard you say multiple times.
You've seen me standing outside of our studio,
panicking,
moving through a bag, trying desperately to locate keys. I'm 85% sure there.
Yes.
But sometimes when stress levels are high and the brain is not braining so good, reading can be hard because and so there are just like two speeds for me personally, which is either hyper focus or no focus. So reading can be a challenge, but I have actually read 2.5. I'm still halfway through the second book. 2.5 horror novels in the past few months. It is more books than I have read almost in the entirety of 2020.
Yeah.
Because the world caught on fire and then burned. And they are both by a friend of the cafe, of your cafe, T. Kingfisher.
Yeah. She's been on the show before.
And I read The Twisted Ones.
Yeah.
Which was the first one. And then I am reading through The Hollow Places, which I will mention because Emmett will not, because she feels it's gauche, but I am a whore with no sense of propriety. It is dedicated to the staff at Cafe Diem.
Oh,
she didn't know that. I told her that actually before we started recording. I'm like, did you read the intro? And she's like, no, I haven't actually gotten a copy of it yet. And I'm like,
yes, yeah, I have an ebook copy, and I have it just downloaded yesterday, so yes, I haven't read it yet.
The dedication is for the staff of Cafe Diem, without whom I would write many fewer books.
Oh,
I know, it's exciting, and there's a character based on my husband in there.
Yeah, Mr. Ducky has a character. Mr.
Ducky's in that book, and it's amazing, and it keeps me laughing. Because I keep recognizing actual, honest-to-God, IRL things. And he's a peacock, so yes. He loves it.
Of course he does. Of course. Yeah, well...
religious party clown background made it in there.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, there's a character in there named Simon, based loosely on my husband, and it has been kind of hilarious to read. I keep reading passages to him out loud. Like, look, this is about you.
Well, probably because he also likes... He and I used to play a game when Ursula was in there writing various books, where we like
Ursula Vernon is her other...
Yes, is her real name.
Kingfish is her adult
writing name. Yeah, she writes... she writes as Ursula Vernon mostly children's books. So the T. Kingfisher is her adult book author name, and when she is in there in the cafe writing, Ducky and I like to play the game of what can we say that will get her to pay attention to us. And so we will, he and I will discuss our strange background, childhood backgrounds, because both of us have weird homeschooled weirdo experiences, and then we say these things to each other loudly enough that we're hoping she can hear us, because if we say the right combination of words together, she will stop typing and looks up and goes, "Wait, back up. What did you just say?"
Wait, what?
and
There's
that
an actual wait what in the book, and
Yes.
I started cracking up because I'm like, oh, I know exactly what happened.
And that's
I've seen you two do this.
Yes, yeah, and we love it. It's the game that we play, and
there's
and it cracks me up so much, and I know it cracks Ducky up because we both kind of mentally high five each other whenever it happens.
yeah,
We're
I know
not
you
keeping
do.
score. I don't know who wins. Probably him because he's there more than I am, but
Well, in this instance, depending on how well the book does, maybe Ursula wins because
Yes. It's true. So
Yeah.
So if you like horror, if you like horror or creepy, if you like creepy, scary
Creepy.
books, because I feel like her books are more creepy.
Yes, I finished the Twisted ones, and I'm only about 200 pages into the Hollow Places, which is the name of the novel with Ducky in it.
Well,
or the character based on Ducky.
Yeah, well, and the Twisted ones was creepy, and to me it was a lingering creepy factor to it.
Yes.
It wasn't gory horror.
It's not stalker serial killer guy murdering woman horror.
Yeah, but it was definitely
folk horror.
Yeah.
Like the familiar bent in an uncomfortable way.
Yeah, and so I liked that. I liked it because it was the kind of book that you put down, you finish it, and you're like, oh, it was a little intense in places, but other than that, it wasn't too bad. And then you start thinking about it like it just creeps into your head after you have finished it, and you're like, oh no, that was way more terrifying than I thought it was. Now that I'm looking back onto it,
yeah, it's kind of a building horror. It's things that are kind of creepy at first, come back to be more creepy, come back to be more creepy, come back to be, oh god, why creepy? And I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And I also appreciate the folk horror aspect of things.
Yeah.
I like that. That's what I like. I like a creeping dread.
Yeah.
I like a shape in the distance.
Yeah.
I like,
I like good supernatural creepy. With a little with some folklore.
Atmospheric creepy.
Yeah. Yeah,
my jam is the hidden worlds, things just a little bit left of our reality. I'm into that. That's one of the reasons I like urban fantasy so much. That idea of if you just find the right place, you just look in the right direction, there's a whole other reality waiting for you.
Yeah, and this is definitely those books I think fit in that that genre, and so if you like that kind of stuff, it's definitely worth checking out.
If you want to hear about Mr. Ducky's weird ass childhood.
Yes. Yeah, well, and not to toot my own horn, but I'm in the first one.
You are in the first one. You are. So if you want your dose of Cafe Diem characters, Emmett is in the first book, the Twisted Ones, which has a horrifying monster that everyone is scared of except me because I thought it sounded kind of cute. And I actually because Emmett had read it before I did, and even texted her and is like, does the effigy sound cute to you? And she was like, no. And I was like, okay.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I did want to make some Twisted One sculptures for my yard. Because
yeah, but you just do that because you want to horrify the local children.
Yes, and the neighbors.
I thought he sounded slightly adorable, so your mileage may vary. It is terrifying. It's creepy. It's not a good thing.
No.
But I'm the person that decorates with skulls that stopped a home invasion with the power of my creepy decor. So
yeah.
Apparently, if you want people to stop rooting through your shit, put
bones,
sheep skulls under your bed. It will stop them and make them leave your house because they don't know what they've found.
Anything will work. You gotta go with what you know.
I did get to horrify my whole entire cosmetology class because we were discussing lighteners, and the question came up is not to nerd out about cosmetology.
Oh no, I think we've
haven't done that on this show.
I think we've talked about this before.
You're right, yeah, but when you're lightening, the power is in the powder, so meaning that the lightening powder is what gives you the most lift when you're trying to get your hair light, yada, yada, yada. But there are different developers, and the different developers have different strengths based on the amount of hydrogen peroxide. And our teacher posed to us the question, could developer, on its own, without the lightening powder, actually cause lift? To which, meaning, could it make your hair lighter? Mm-hmm. And I answered with, well, yeah, because I use developer, just straight up like 10 volume developer to bleach out bones. So definitely it could bleach out hair. And everyone had to stop and turn and stare at me. And I was like, because it's hydrogen peroxide and you can use that to bleach out bones. That was not enough explanation. And then I'd be like, it was an art project. They were sheep skulls. They were a little dingy because they'd been out in a field because that's where the sheep had died. And I needed to bleach them so that I could sand them and paint them and put glitter on them. And I used developer because it's creamy and thick and will sit on the bones.
Was that enough of an answer for your...
Yeah, class? No, but at this point they've known me, so they just went, oh.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then just moved on.
Fair enough.
And where somebody went, remind me, and then we got in the subject of, do you have a murder plan? And I revealed my murder plan, which I've told people on this podcast before, and everyone, remind me never to make you mad.
Oh, it's not when
you know how to bleach out bones. You have a very a very well thought out murder plan. I'm like,
it's not the murder plan you have to worry about. It's the after the murder plan.
Well, no, my murder plan is after the murder plan.
I know.
How does
we have the step by step? We have we have it on the wall. I have the chart.
It's on the wall. No. There's some string around it. Don't worry about it.
Don't look at it. It's not for you. Yet.
Don't look directly at it. If you don't conceive of the runes built into the string, then they can't hurt you.
That's right. And with that, I'm going to press a button.
Attention, Sky Captains. Are you suffering from a particularly bad case of keratophobia?
He means a fear of lightning.
Have you been the unfortunate victim of multiple lightning strikes? Tired of buying new suits as the old reek of carbon and are singed beyond repair? Suffer and worry no longer, my dear sirs. With the recent invention of Dr. Luminasovic's patented Eucomian suits, you'll never again have to worry about being struck down by lightning. Light and comfortable and terribly easy to wear, Dr. Luminasovic's patented Eucomian suits are perfectly suited, if you'll pardon my pun, to a life in the skies. 110% guaranteed to prevent any and all human landfall of that most horrifying atmospheric discharge. And coming soon, top hat mounted lightning rods.
Patent pending.
And so, I was just regaling Lady Attercop with a tormenting childhood trauma of my mother's that I will now share with all of you because I still find it hilarious. So when my mom was a wee child, and my mother is no longer with us, she passed away several years ago, so she cannot come back and get me about this. So
that's right, you're free.
I'm free and clear, man. So when she was a wee child, she had a reoccurring nightmare about Mr. Potato Head. Now, I'm not talking about the congenial plastic Mr. Potato Head, not the one that, is in Toy Stories. I'm talking about the original Mr. Potato Head, where you took a potato and you shoved spikes into its potatoey flesh to make a face, because that was
potato not included.
Yes, you had to get your own potato and then use these horrible torture devices to make a face on Mr. Potato Head. And in the dream, she would always be in some strange, fantastical venue. Of some, or that's slightly normal, but strange circumstances. So, like, in one of the dreams, she was in this fancy ball roller rink where like everyone was dressed in like big hoop skirts and hoop dresses, but they were on roller skates. And
then Mr. Potato Head.
Yes, and then there would be a man bent over his roller skates, tying his roller skates on, and so you only saw him from the back, and he would turn around and go, "Mr. Potato Head here, glad to meet you," and take her hand and shake it vigorously, and she would wake up. Bah! And she had a recurring nightmare about this Mr. Potato Head, where he would appear in other like in different situations, and he would say the same phrase. "Hi there, Mr. Potato Head here."
The ballroom scene from Labyrinth.
Yes.
She's dancing with David Bowie.
Yes.
Suddenly, David Bowie looks away and turns back around and says, "Mr. Potato Head here.
Glad to meet you," and shake your hand vigorously, and then she would wake up. And as a as a homeschooled child that was told this story and had a lot of time on their hands, I didn't like to let her live it down.
Also, I'm sorry. That is the most hilarious, like, deep-seated trauma that I've ever heard.
Yeah, I don't know what happened in her childhood that made that Mr. Potato Head so horrific, but it cracks me up. And so because my family are a bunch of sarcastic assholes, we pick on each other about our ridiculous, irrational fears or our weird mistakes, like my tiny meatloaf.
Like the tiny meatloaf.
And how I would hear about it for decades after, about, "Ooh, can I have a little more meatloaf?" kind of things. And so on a regular occasion, I liked to do things like send her Mr. Potato Head keychains, or send her links to steampunk Mr. Potato Heads, but as a obnoxious homeschooled child, I once made a very elaborate practical joke that I thought was very funny, where I took a potato and put it on her dress dummy and made a recording and set it all up so that when she opened the door to her sewing room, the tape deck would go off and it would say, "Mr. Potato Head here, glad to meet you." And
Ferris Bueller style.
Yeah, and when it happened, she fell on her butt so hard that it shook the house.
Oh no.
And yes, I mean, she wasn't a big woman. It was just she fell because she wasn't.
No, it was a primal fear.
Yes,
response. Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, to be fair, my sister helped me, so at no point in time did she stop me and say, "Emmett, I don't think this is a good idea."
Well, of course she didn't. She was a younger sister.
She went along with it. So
alone.
Yes. Yeah. So
armed with the knowledge to your mother's greatest fear.
Yes. So.
And there is no more powerful aphrodisiac
than Mr. Potato Head.
Yeah.
Oh, it still makes me laugh. It was over 30 years ago, and it still cracks me up.
No, okay. Oh, I have. It's not my story to share, but it is Mr. Dougie's story, and I'm married to him. So, I think by marriage.
I think yeah.
It's not mine,
yes.
So I can share it as I see fit.
Okay, go for it.
I will share a similar story, so you're not alone here in your
torture,
horribleness,
and that I'm a horrible human being.
Yeah. So, funny. Mr. Ducky, hey, if you read The Hollow Places, they mention the character that is based on Mr. Ducky, Simon, mentions his parents were religious party clowns, like Christian cultist party clowns. That is based on a real Mr. Ducky fact. His parents were Mormon party clowns. They were Mormon and party clowns separately, to their credit. They weren't like showing up to parties and being like, let's talk about the walnut boat that the Jesuits came to America in. Apologies to any Mormon listeners we may have, but you know that shit sounds pretty silly. And so, but, as they were party clowns, in the party clown scene? Circuit? What would you...
Circuit. I think it's a circuit.
Circuit. They had a lot of also South Florida party clown friends. And because, you know, these are your peers. And there was a clown that combined born-again Christianity with party clownism into an unholy amalgamation.
That just sounds terrifying.
Thank you for the
sound effect
there, Kat. Yeah, no, her name was, and I'm only saying her real party clown name because she does not appear to be on the internet anywhere. Christy Rainbow. Christy because it's Christ and I in a name, and Rainbow
because
like after the flood, you know, the event described in the Bible that wiped out all of humanity and all the animals.
Wow.
And there was a rainbow.
It wasn't because she was a clown?
But let's I'm just setting the stage for maybe her mental state.
Oh, yeah.
So Christy Rainbow was a party clown, Christian-themed party clown, who also was a rainbow-themed party clown. And Mr. Ducky was, in this story, probably around 11-ish? Maybe a little older, maybe a little younger. I'm not quite sure. His dad used to work as a graphic designer before he was his hands got crippled, and you know he had bad arthritis and couldn't draw to the extent he used to. But he would offer his services to his fellow party clowns for like flyers and coloring books and gigas.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, you know. Swag.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking for swag. And he, I guess, had agreed to do something for Miss Christy Rainbow. And she showed up to Mr. Ducky's house looking for the aforementioned swag. But his parents were out because it was a weekend. And that's when party clowns do their partying.
Yes.
So it's just the kids home alone. Christy Rainbow shows up in, I should mention, full clown regalia, which involved a rainbow wig, face makeup, a clown nose, and a tutu, asking, "Oh, hey, has your dad done XYZ for me? I need my swag for my next gig." And they're like, "Oh no, we don't know. He's not here, so you'll have to come back later." And she said, "Okay," and she left. And then about 20 minutes later, she came back.
Oh.
Came back up. "Hey, is your dad home? I really need that stuff. Gotta do some major clowning this weekend. Where's my swag?" And they're like, "We still don't know. Parents still aren't home."
It's been only 20 minutes. It's been 20 minutes. It's been only 20 minutes.
Yeah, it's been 20 minutes, lady. They're still not here. Sorry. And this is before the age of cell phones for our younger listeners.
Right.
And so the afternoon progresses with Candy Rainbow showing up about every 20 minutes, asking for the swag, and getting increasingly upset and increasingly unhinged every time the small children left home alone tell her that they do not know of this swag, and it is not here as far as they are concerned. It escalates to the point where she is screaming at them through the door because they have now refused to open the door.
Oh,
because
no.
she's come back so many times, and the situation has escalated each time. And then when they refuse to open the door, she just starts walking around the house and banging on every window and door that she sees.
Oh,
which is terrifying to a younger person.
This is how you get clown phobias.
Unhinged, angry individual walking the perimeter of the house, banging on all of the entrances, and screaming at you and refusing to leave.
This is how you get a.
The part of the story that's hilarious.
Oh, okay. I was gonna hope there was a hilarious part.
Is that you realize she is doing this the entire time in full clown makeup.
And this is how Mr. Ducky ended up with his clown phobia.
This is to this day why Mr. Ducky does not like clowns. When he first told me this story, it was at an intimate moment. We were sharing traumas, and I laughed because he mentioned she was rainbow themed, and I immediately had that image in my house head of and she was apparently not she was a small woman. She's not an imposing figure of just a tiny rainbow hued clown banging on all the windows. And I'm sorry. To this day, it's been 21 years we've been together. It still makes me laugh.
See, so some people's horror is another person's comedy.
Ursula, feel free to use that for the next book. Instead of the hollow places, it's the rainbow places. And the big bad is a clown.
Oh no, people will think that she stole the idea from It.
Yeah, because I asked that because growing, Emmett and I were, well, Emmett, you didn't experience this, but when I was in middle school, the miniseries came out, so all of my classmates read the novel.
Oh no, my mom read the book to me and my sister when my sister was a wee child. She read this book to me, and then we saw the Tim Curry, they watched the Tim Curry movie TV series on television. I did not, because I do not like horror.
The book there's some things in the book that are inappropriate for children.
She skipped some stuff.
I understand that my classmates read it independently, so they got to experience that for themselves, but there wasn't their parents going, and then there was a gangbang.
Right, well, since the real world filter is off of our show while we are in pandemic time, my mom wasn't always the most appropriate adult figure in adultness. In any way, shape, or form. She was a narcissist, and she was stunted at the age of 17. So a lot of the stuff that she did, as if you look at it from the point of, oh, you are essentially a 17-year-old. Okay, this all makes sense now.
Right, if you look at it through the babysitter lens.
If you look at it through, this is my babysitter, my 17-year-old babysitter filter, it all suddenly is like, oh yeah, no, because that's totally what a 17-year-old babysitter would do, would totally read it.
Right, and then you would get to the gangbang scene and be like, oh,
let's skip this.
Then they went out for
ice cream. Yeah.
Also, Stephen King, stop. No.
Yeah, also, to be fair, this is the woman who did take my sister and I to see Purple Rain in the theater.
Right. Because your first rated R movie was Purple Rain as a small child.
Yes. And I believe my eyes were covered for one scene.
Well, I would hope for more than one.
Nope. Because I remember thinking, this is inappropriate for a child my age and for my younger sister. And then I'd cover her eyes up.
Isn't Purple Rain rated PG-13 though? I don't think it has a hard R.
I'm shocked if it didn't.
I mean, there's no actual nudity in it.
No, there is nudity. Apollonia is naked when she goes into the lake.
Yeah, but I don't think you see any boobs.
Yes, you do. You see boobs.
I don't remember. It's been a while. I'll have to rewatch Purple Rain.
Her nipples have been burned into my retinas.
Well, I mean,
literally.
I remember the scene from Purple Rain being the most shocking to me is the scene where Prince just gets slapped across the room.
Yes. Yeah. Well, the domestic abuse
was very traumatic.
The domestic abuse was pretty awful. There is some very inappropriate
sex scenes.
Yeah.
Some people learn some shit from Purple Rain.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of if it's not R, I'm surprised.
I will, again, my first rated R movie was Dracula. Francis Ford Coppola's Dracula.
I remember that.
Yeah, I saw it in the theater. What's up? We were the only ones there.
Good times. Good times. 80s and 90s.
I will, okay, so comparing the two films.
Yes.
I will say this. all of the sex scenes in Purple Rain, very consensual. People might have learned some stuff.
Yeah.
Dracula,
It was
not
a
so
little
much.
problematic.
There was a werewolf involved. That's all I remember.
Oh yeah, that scene.
Yeah, there was a whole werewolf sex scene.
Oh yeah,
FYI, if you haven't watched
with
Francis
Lucy.
Ford Coppola's Dracula.
Yeah, it's inappropriate. It's not good. I mean, it's very pretty. It's very atmospheric. It's very pretty. The acting.
Keanu Reeves is trying his hardest. God bless him.
Yeah, he and Winona Ryder and should not be
very pretty.
They should not be in movies where they're supposed to be British.
No, they are not. They're not good at the period acting.
They're very California. They're very California.
They're not good at the period, but they are very pretty.
Yes, they are very pretty.
They're very pretty, and their costumes are very nice.
Yes, I liked I had the soundtrack, everything, the atmosphere, everything was great.
Oh, beautiful.
Yes.
The transitions were a little weird.
Yes, yeah.
But I did appreciate it. It was a Dracula movie because I was a big fan of the book.
Yeah.
Nerd.
Yeah.
I did appreciate it that it was a Dracula movie that gave us the full found family full of gay himbos that didn't realize that they were gay.
Yeah.
The stable of himbos trying to save Lucy.
Yeah.
Yeah, the doctor. Quincy, the cowboy.
Yeah.
The doctor was clearly in love with Quincy. Yeah, Jonathan, who had some conflicted feelings about that whole Dracula thing he experienced in the castle.
Yeah.
He just had another man to shave him erotically. He doesn't know what that means for his sexuality.
That's why he rushes off to get married to Mina as quickly as possible.
Immediately rushes off to get married to his high school sweetheart. She ends up fucking the same guy he did.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing. If you look at Dracula through that lens, it's a lot of fun. It's like, oh, you're all so confused.
And broken.
Oh, the 1800s. You were.
Also, the 90s when they were trying to make movies.
To be fair to Dracula, the original, keep in mind, Bram Stoker was friends with
Oscar Wilde.
Oscar Wilde.
Yeah.
He was the queer subtext you think you're picking up in it.
It's there.
Yeah, it's a horror genre. Everyone was very innocent. That's on purpose.
Yeah, no, he did it
very much on purpose.
I believe
Dracula.
Didn't he write it after Oscar went
after
to
his
jail?
friend got jailed, and it was kind of like a little fuck you.
Yeah, to the man.
The man, yeah. The queer erotic subtext of Dracula would have been very obvious to the Victorians reading the novel.
Yeah,
and was intentional.
Yeah,
The doctor is in. You are not wrong. The doctor is in love with Quincy. It's not and it would have been blatantly obvious. It only seems subtle to us by our current standards.
Yeah. No, that's true. And with that,
also, think about standing behind a man and shaving him.
Yes. Well, with a straight razor, you have to be very trusting.
And behind him.
Yes.
Not in front of him.
Yeah.
That's he knew what he was doing. It's not a mistake.
Yeah. That's why it's always funny when in other movies when they do that to try and make it scary.
Ratchet up the tension, and you're like, this is real gay, y'all. I just watched a movie that happened. It starred Sam Ellison's mustache.
Oh, Sam Elliott.
Sam Elliott's mustache. It was the man who killed Hitler and also Bigfoot or something dumb like that. But there was a whole shaving sequence where the guy is shaving off his beard, and it's supposed to be tense because he's got the razor and he could kill him at any moment. But it just comes off very you would look better clean shaven. Let me take care. It came off very that cover from when Katie Lang came out and what's her face is shaving her.
Yeah.
The model.
Oh, I remember the picture. I can't think of who the model is.
Back in the day when it was a big thing when people came out, Katie Lang came out as
was it Cindy Crawford?
And she had the top model of the time, on a cover of GQ. She's sitting in a barber's chair, and this model's in lingerie shaving her, and it's it's always been a thing, y'all. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Was it the mole lady? Was it Cindy Crawford or was it?
It was Cindy Crawford.
Okay.
Yes, Cindy Crawford is shaving her with a straight razor.
Yeah, it's totally.
Because humans have never been subtle.
No, we're terrible at that. And with that, I think it's time to call it a day.
Speaking of being subtle,
And
if you
being
like this
subtle.
thing we do, this Clockwork of Cabarets, there are a multitude of ways in which you can support it.
We don't know any of them. No.
We actually do know all of them, Emmett.
No,
Don't lie to these fine people. You can help. If you like the show, please give us a 5-star review either on Apple Podcasts or Stitcher or wherever you can review podcasts. Recommend us to a friend if you think they would enjoy our shenanigans. You can help support us on Patreon. You can help support us on Ko-fi, however it's pronounced. I don't know. The world is a mess and language is irrelevant. You can also just directly donate to us via PayPal, and you can find all of that information on Agony Aunt Studios because we want to be the weird aunties we want in the universe.
Yes. And
Be the weird aunties you needed when you were young.
And if you miss our music and you haven't realized where to go yet, if you want to listen to the music playlists that we're still making them, we just can't include them on the episodes here. You can go to mixcloud.com/thatdarlingdjduo, and you will have the options of listening to just pure music or our babbly nonsense. There's basically 2 podcasts for the price of 1.
And the podcasts are still good, and the music section is still so good.
Yeah,
Thank you, Emmett.
Yeah, I pick weird music.
Banging playlists. They're still awesome, and there's still new music. We're still finding new music and putting it up there. So if you're like, we're all staying at home now, we have to find our entertainment where we can.
Yes, and remember, this has been the Clockwork Cabaret. She is Lady Attercop.
And she is Emmett Davenport.
And it's not work we do.
It's love.
Gentlemen adventurers and sky captains, surely you've noticed the vast difficulties in steering one's airship, especially whilst attempting to check one's pocket watch. How fine and leisurely life would be if you could only find a way to check the time while continuing to steer your vessel. Perhaps you've considered hiring a young immigrant child to retrieve your pocket watch when you must check the hour. Or perhaps you've made the grave mistake of allowing your dull-witted first mate to steer while you're occupied with your watch. I say no longer. I, General Forrest P. Longblatt, am proud to announce the invention of the world's first wrist-mounted pocket watch. Through clever combination of leather pockets, buckles, and straps, one is able to carry one's pocket watch within easy reading reach at all times. Fits all standard-sized pocket watches. Order today, before it's too late.